Hello and thank you so much for joining me today on Super Pants Gaming. Today, all I've really got for you is a little channel update, and I will show you a game at the end or something like that, so to keep you guys happy, because I know you like seeing video games. But today's a little bit of a waffle. I want to give you guys a little bit of an update because about a week ago, someone actually hit me up on Instagram and said, "Hey, what happened to your Fast 4 video?" Because my Fast 4 videos are sort of scheduled to be like the last Saturday of every month, and last month I didn't do one. And I didn't think anyone would notice, but one person did. So thank you very much for that. Now, part of this update is basically going to be to explain to you that I've been trying to do this on a schedule sort of thing. From the start of the year, I said that I was going to try and do the Fast 4 at the end of each month on the last Saturday, the £10 challenge the first Saturday of the month, and the 52 Platinum challenge the second Saturday of each month. Now, last time I did the Fast 4, basically it took me about 2 weeks to do it, and I don't think most of you guys probably don't know the amount of sort of time that it actually takes me to do that, because I pull the games, I then have to go, I have to play the games pretty much right the way through, and for most of them anyway, and then I have to write the reviews, cut all the footage up, record the footage, cut it up, and sort of make a video, and I end up with about a 6-minute video for about 2 weeks worth of work. Now, I'm not complaining at all about it. I absolutely love doing it. I think they are my favourite videos to do, but the last one that I did, I think put me roughly about 2 weeks behind for everything else, and I still haven't managed to catch up. So I said to my sensible adult, I said, I don't want to rush it, and I don't want to sort of be pushing stuff out that I'm not happy with. Yeah, so I'm still doing the Fast 4. However, I'm dropping them completely off the schedule. They're not going to be sort of in a time slot. They're going to be as and when they're done. I'm going to sort of film it up like I do, and I'm just going to take my time. During the summer months, I imagine you might get one every couple of months, and then during the winter, they'll probably end more or less monthly again, because I do really enjoy doing them. And then very similar with the CEX £10 challenges. The month before last, we had like a fail, right, which was the one in Leicester, and I didn't enjoy that. That kind of sucked, because I like going out and I like getting the games and stuff, and that's sort of like one of my high points of the month sort of thing. So this last month, we did the Kettering one. Now, I went back to Kettering knowing that Kettering was sort of one of the better CEXs that I'd sort of been in, and I was hoping that we wouldn't have back-to-back fails if we went there. But I went there because I hadn't actually been anywhere else during the month that I could have done a CEX £10 challenge at a shop that I hadn't been to. And I said again to my sensible adult, I said, I love doing these, but I think I want to take them off slot and just do them as and when we're at a CEX that's new to us sort of thing, or I'm going past one that I've not done one in before. And I can't guarantee that I can do that monthly, because I've done sort of most of the ones around my way sort of thing. And I sure as hell I'm not going to be driving to one for the sake of doing a CEX £10 challenge. That'd just be sort of crazy. So yes, so they're coming off the schedule as well. They're going to be as and when. Some months you might find there's a couple of them. Other times it might go 2 or 3 months where I don't do one. You know what I mean? And yeah. Leading on from that, the other scheduled video is the 52 Platinum Challenge, which I'm doing this year. That is going to stay roughly scheduled on the channel sort of thing. I want to be doing that monthly because I want that as a catalogue for myself. I'm doing that with a friend sort of like in real life sort of thing. We're both sort of trying to do it. I think my friend might have quit, if I'm honest, because they just bought a Switch 2 and I've not noticed them getting any Platinums for quite a while. But that said, I've not had any for quite a while either. But I will be catching up. I think that should have been uploaded today, actually, thinking about it. But I will be catching up, and the 52 Platinum Challenge video will be coming in the next week or so, and hopefully I can stay sort of on with that. So I will say as well, a couple of people said that I'm probably biting off more than I can chew, and yes, give yourself a pat on the back, you were completely right. I was never going to keep to that schedule, but I tried. Yeah, and that's what I'll do. I'll set myself things, I'll go for it, and half the time I won't make it, you know what I mean? But I'm quite happy with how it all sort of is. The 52 Platinum Challenge is still going to be sort of a mainstay on the channel. It's going to be more or less the middle of each month, and that'll go on till the end of the year, and then we'll sort of see what we're doing with that, because we're meant to be racing to 100, but if my friend has given up, then there's no point in carrying on just doing it myself. Maybe I'll join someone else's challenge. I don't know. So anyway, to compound my issues with being like so far behind with some of the uploads and stuff, I had a week off last week and it was absolutely awesome. I I went on like a huge road trip basically, and I met a couple of really awesome people, and I got a load of pickups as well. So I've got a load of pickups from that. Me saying I'm behind, I've on the pickup shelf down there, I've got like big sort of shelf of pickups. I've literally got PlayStation pickups from the end of March, from just after the last PlayStation pickups video. I've got a CollectBox video ready to go, and on the way back from the road trip I also stopped in, I don't know if any of you guys will remember, I said like I've got a list of 6 gaming shops that I'm hoping to get to this year. We did Super Game Shack fairly recently. The Angry Trollman got his shop crossed off because he's the Angry Trollman, and then I hit another one on the way back, which was Go Go Games in Darwin, on the way back from a road trip. And yes, awesome shop, and I will be doing a little video for that at some point. Got some brilliant little pickups from there as well, so that will be coming in the next few weeks. And then now moving on to any of you guys that are eagle-eyed, you might realize that there's a slight change to the shelf behind. I've moved on the Max Payne 3 statue. Now, when I got it, I was so pleased to get it and stuff, but the only sort of place that it would sort of fit in here sort of thing, sort of sensibly, was on that shelf. Now, if I want to take it off that shelf, the only other place to put it... Sorry, it's really hot today. I am absolutely baking, so sorry if you can hear the fan in the background as well. I should have probably said that at the beginning, but yes. The only other place to have put it would have been like if I sort of put it in my office, but I'm trying to clear stuff out of my office because my office has sort of become a bit of a dumping ground in a way. And I don't want to be adding stuff into my office, so I've moved on the Max Payne 3 statue above there, which you can see. I started the video earlier, and there was just a big gap there, and it looked kind of funny, so I've dropped in Psycho Pass for the time being, just to sort of plug the gap, because, yeah. But I've been thinking, I want to change the shelf, because I kind of get bored of what's up here, if that sort of makes sense. That's a mainstay. That Splinter Cell Blacklist, that's a mainstay. That'll be staying because yeah, I want to keep hold of that. Sensible actually bought me that, so that's staying. But the rest of the shelf, I'm a little bit like that on what to do with it. Now, I've got a couple of ideas, okay? I'm going to float those past you, and then I want you guys to maybe tell me what I'm missing. What should I do? What would you do if that was your shelf sort of thing? Because this is quite a prominent shelf in the room sort of thing. And, you know, I just get bored of looking at the same stuff all the time. A lot of the other shelves, I move them around and stuff. I'm not scared of doing that. You know, when you got a collection, I think a lot of it is sort of like moving it around and looking at it and sort of playing with it and stuff. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I do. But this stuff up here, a lot of it's just sort of got put up there because there wasn't really anywhere else for it, and I want to move it. I want to put some other stuff up there, but I'm not sure exactly what to go with. So a couple of things that are sort of in the running. I've got a display cabinet over there sort of thing, sort of yay big sort of thing, like with glass doors. The bottom couple of rows of it are N64 games, like cartridges sort of thing, car only, so I don't collect old cardboard. And my thought is I could build like a little N64 stand and have them back there. There's only about 30 of them, so, you know, wouldn't be too bad. I could build like a little display thing and have it up there. Now, that might not be very sort of in keeping with the channel, because, you know, you guys know I kind of collect 6th, 7th, 8th gen mainly, with a little bit of old Sega and that as well, sort of thrown in for good measure, if you like. Might not be quite in keeping with the channel, but I think it would look kind of cool. And I'm like, I quite like the idea of that. Alternatively, I came up with the idea I could sort of do a showcase thing up there. Like, because, you know, like I said, I'm quite happy moving stuff around, having it different every week and stuff. And I could be like, it could sort of be like a game I'm playing, a movie I've watched, and an album I've listened to, or something like that. But I'm worried that that might detract from the actual content of the video itself, because if I'm doing a PlayStation pickups video and then, like, you know, there's an Xbox game up there, there's a random film and, like, I don't know, a rock album or something, it's like, how does that tie in with the actual video? I don't know, but I was thinking, you know, that might be kind of cool, maybe. Alternatively, yeah, now a couple of people have told me not to do this when I've thrown it out there. I've got a couple of NECA figures, like old, like sort of big sort of statuary figures in boxes. They're probably about the size of this, to be honest. And they aren't gaming. They're ICP, which is Insane Clown Posses, like Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope, from back in the day. And I pulled them out of the loft a little while ago, and they're in my office. And I'm like, I said to my sensible adult, I said, I could get those and put those up there, sort of a bit stealth in a way sort of thing, and just sort of see how quickly we can lose subs on the channel. Now, I don't know. It's I know we're a gaming channel, you know what I mean, and that's it's almost like completely unrelated, but they are kind of cool, and they probably are rarer than any games that I own, sort of thing. I don't know, what do you guys think about that? So I see a lot of channels put like their rare or expensive games up there, and that's not really a me thing to do. That to me is a little bit sort of willy waving in a way, and I don't know, a lot of the expensive games like Kuo and Gun Club and stuff like that, I just look at them all the time and be like, why did I spend that much money on those games, you know? So I don't really know. That's probably not a me thing to do. I'm more likely to put like sort of my favourite games up there as opposed to sort of anything rare or expensive. And to be totally honest, I don't really have a lot of rare or expensive stuff because, you know, I shop sort of pretty low end when it comes to gaming. That's sort of what the channel's about. I'm gaming on a budget, and I do. It's all on a shoestring budget, people. I don't spend a lot of money on the games. I know you see a lot of pickups and stuff, but it's like, yeah, I'm literally doing this on about 10 quid a week for the most part, and yeah, there you go. So, yeah, waffle aside, I've got a load of other stuff coming up as well. I promised to show you a game, didn't I? So I'm going to grab a random game off the shelf. That'll do. And you guys can see I still have the Master System stuff down here. I haven't put the Mega Drive stuff in yet, as I said I was probably going to. And I have pulled off the shelf a Wonder Boy 3, The Dragon's Trap. And yeah, that is one of my favourite Master System games of all time. So that was actually a really good pull there. I don't think I've shown you guys it before, but yeah, there you go, nice and complete. And ooh, that leaves I've got a segue there onto the next little bit that I was going to talk about. So you might notice that manual is in a manual bag, and you'll look at that and you'll think that's a nice looking manual, right? This manual is probably a 4 out of 10 if I'm totally honest. I'll take it out and show you. Well, I'm not going to take it out of the bag because it's fiddly, but if you look, it's kind of creased and stuff, but when it's in a manual bag, it holds it nice and flat. And I've opted recently to start bagging my older games manuals sort of thing, because I think it just helps preserve them a little bit. Sort of keeps them flat, keeps them looking nice, and they won't get all sort of crusty when they're just sort of knocking around in the boxes. Because especially the Master System stuff, the amount of times in the past I've opened the Master System box and the manual falls out. Yeah, when it's in the baggie, it just really helps it. Now the thing with this is, this manual I would say is a 4 out of 10. And you're probably looking at it thinking that manual looks better than a 4 out of 10. Yeah, it does, because it's in a bag. If you take that out of the bag and some of the corners start creasing up and stuff, and you start seeing some of the creases in it and that, you'll agree. You'll agree it's a 4, honestly. But putting it in a bag maybe makes it look more like a 5 or a 6. And I know there's a lot of gaming markets coming up. I've popped that down there. And my advice to you is, if you're buying older stuff and the manuals are bagged, yeah, just be aware that the manual bags are probably making the games look slightly nicer than they actually are, yeah? So that's a little bit of advice for you there, people, because, yeah. Yeah, and the other thing I want to say, I'm going to Doncaster next weekend, so I'm hoping that maybe I might see one or two of you there, if any of you are still watching this, because I dare say this is just an absolute waffle that you've probably come to expect by now. I would also say, there you go, I'll do. A lot of the games, when you get there, are in baggies like this. Now, this is in a baggie because it's a new sealed game, which you've seen before. But a lot of the games, when they're not new, are still in baggies sort of thing. Now, I see a lot of people just buying them. They're in baggies, it will say like £5 on it, and someone will just pick it off the thing and yeah, I'll buy that. But, you know, inside, it's still used, it's second hand sort of thing. So, put that down there. Got nowhere to put anything. That'll do on there. Yes. Now, my word of advice there is always open the games if they're in baggies. If they're not brand new games, if they're in a baggie, open them and check. Because a few years back, I think it was Final Fantasy IX I was buying on PlayStation 1, so I really wanted it back at the time. It's like a rebuy sort of thing, because it's one I used to have back in the day. And I was like, I need a copy of 9 again. Yes, I went to the store and I saw one there. It looked really nice. So I think it was about 20 quid or something. And I was like, is it all right to have a little look inside? So is to open it up and have a look inside? And the seller's like, yeah, if you must, sort of thing. And I was like, okay. Opened it up, and I think it was the first. It was either the first or second disc. I looked at it and it was ringed. And I mean, it was ringed like someone had sort of put a coffee cup on it, sort of thing. Yeah. If I'd have just bought that without looking at it, I've bought a game that I'm not going to be able to play. And I'm just going to be like, no, what a waste of money. So guys, if you're going to the events, just make sure, yeah, especially if you're buying stuff that's up there, that you're checking the stuff over. Because, yeah, not all of it is as you would expect, okay? It's just a little word of warning for you, because, you know, I don't want any of you guys to get mugged off. I want everyone to have awesome games, and games that they enjoy, and games that they can play, okay? So anyway, waffle aside, let me know, what would you do if this was your shelf, people? What would you have up there? Because, you know, or would you just vary it, change it every week? Because I think that might be what I end up doing. I don't know. But yes, yeah, let me know in the comments, people. Remember, you guys are awesome. I've been Soup, and I'll see you in the next one for loads of pickups, because I've got an absolute massive stuff that I need to get filmed. So thank you so much. See you again, people. Goodbye.